Okay, hopefully this works. I'm gonna wait for some folks to join me here, but I really hope this works because I tried something new and it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. So hopefully you guys got the notification. I do see some folks joining in. Make sure you let me know where you're watching in those comments, and welcome to Wednesday. Basically, if you follow us on Facebook or on Twitch, I tried a new thing, setting up an event for this live today. And the platform that we go through, Restream, said all you got to do is just click live when you go, and I just did that and it said error. So I guess that didn't work as well as I wanted it to, but I was able to go live anyways. I see you guys are in those comments. Happy Wednesday, happy update. I am recording this for the first time in our brand new Deathwish studios. That's why you hear it's a little boomy. I still don't have a lot of soundproofing in here. But I wanted to do some fun stuff with you guys today, talking about some new products and some exciting things that are happening here at Deathwish Coffee. Hello to everybody on Facebook, hello to everybody on Twitch, and hello to everybody on YouTube. I'm gonna try and keep up with your comments as we go as well. Now, one of the things that you guys have been really, really excited about is our next mug release. And it's right here. You see it right here. There it is. Look at that. Look at that bad boy. That is our Cthulhu themed mug. It is 20 plus ounces and it is coming out like ridiculously soon. In fact, if you guys are new to the mug game at Deathwish Coffee, this is going to be released a day early for coffee subscribers. So this is the perfect time right now to go to deathwishcoffee.com and become a coffee subscriber. What does that mean? That means that you can get coffee delivered to your door every few weeks, every few months. You set it up the way you want to do it. It's literally set it and forget it. And you can set it up with Deathwish Coffee. You can set it up with Valhalla Java. You can set it up with our brand new cold brew. However you want to do it. And if you have any questions, obviously hit up customer service and they'll help you out. But this mug is our next mug release, and it's going to be available to coffee subscribers a day early. And then after that, available to all of you. There's only 5,000 of them, so they're going to go really quick because I know people are really excited about Cthulhu. Now, the other thing that people have been excited about is our Cauldron Aged Pumpkin. I'm so proud of this product. This is our brand new packaging. We showed this to you on an earlier update, which was a lot of fun that I did with Shannon, but designed by our incredible design team, Thomas Dragonetti and Peter Witt. These guys came up with this killer design. And I'm telling you, there's surprises in there too. So when you get this bag and you open it up, the actual full design comes out and it's absolutely incredible. And I know a lot of you guys are like, I don't give two flying Fs about pumpkin spice anything. Well, that's what puts ours apart. Our pumpkin coffee is not anywhere near a pumpkin spice. It's not infused with chemicals or flavorings or sugars or any of that crap. We take our Deathwish beans, unroasted, those green beans, and we age them with a special chai that's infused with cinnamon and pumpkin extract and cloves. And we let that age for a while and then roast the beans. And that's why you get this delicious aftertaste of pumpkin along with the Deathwish coffee that you guys love. That's coming out incredibly soon too, like really soon, like probably before the week is over, you're gonna be able to buy pumpkin coffee. Now that's not as limited as the mugs, but it is limited. We do it year round, but we do it this time of year. And we're really excited. You'll be able to get that in ground and whole bean, and hopefully you'll be able to start seeing that on shelves around you as well. Finally, to get you guys in the mood for our giant Cthulhu release, I thought it would be fun. I don't know if you guys, how old a lot of you guys are watching this, but one of my favorite shows when I was a kid was Masterpiece Theater. And I thought it would be fun to read a few excerpts from the actual story that inspired this mug release, the Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft. Now, Lovecraft has been in the news lately. I don't know if you guys have been checking out Lovecraft Country on HBO. Incredible new show. But that's based on a book called Lovecraft Country, which is obviously based on what Lovecraft created, but it's not written by Lovecraft. It's a completely different author, which is really, really awesome. So, if you don't mind me to indulge you a little bit, I thought it would be fun. I don't know, let me know in those comments if you guys have ever read this book or any of Lovecraft's work. And the Call of Cthulhu is a story that he published in Weird Tales, and it basically kicked off the whole Cthulhu mythos that he created and interwove throughout all of his stories. And I think it's only fitting to maybe read a little bit of it as you guys enjoy looking at this mug that's going to be yours very, very soon. All right. So hopefully I won't butcher this. I've read this a bunch, but I've never really read it out loud. So the story starts off, the first chapter, it's 3 different vignettes, basically. And the story starts off with a vignette called The Horror in Clay, and it's about the narrator discovering the old notes and ramblings of his great uncle, who was a professor of linguistics. And Lovecraft sets the stage for what Cthulhu is going to be in the very first paragraph. And this is the beginning of The Horror in Clay. The most merciful thing in the world, I think, is the inability of the human mind to correlate all of its contents. We live on a placid island of ignorance in the midst of black seas of infinity, and it was not meant that we should voyage so far. The sciences, each straining in its own direction, have hitherto harmed us little, but someday the piecing together of disassociated knowledge will open up such terrifying vistas of reality and of our frightful position therein, that we shall either go mad from the revelation or flee from the deadly light into the peace and safety of a new dark age. Now that really sets the stage, and that's Lovecraft to a T. He is very good at the flowery language and really, turning a phrase and describing in detail what he really wants to get across. Now, as the story goes on, he dives deeper into his uncle's writings. And then the second part of the Call of Cthulhu is called The Tale of Inspector Lagrasse. And this is about a police inspector that 17 years prior actually encountered this sculpture, this weird thing that pointed to this crazy cult, the Cult of Cthulhu. And this inspector wrote in his notes what he perceived about when seeing this sculpture. And this is the first time Cthulhu, as you can see right here, is actually ever described. The figure, which was finally passed slowly from man to man for close and careful study, was between 7 and 8 inches in height and of exquisitely artistic workmanship. It represented a monster of vaguely anthropoid outline, but with an octopus-like head whose face was a mass of feelers, a scaly, rubbery-looking body, prodigious claws on hind and forefeet, and long, narrow wings behind. This thing, which seemed instinct with a fearsome and unnatural malignancy, was of somewhat bloated corpulence and squatted evilly on a rectangular block or pedestal covered with undecipherable characters. It's pretty crazy, right? Again, if you've never read this, I 100%, check this story out. There's so much in there. Now, as this inspector in the story is uncovering more and more about this strange sculpture and whatever it is, he takes it to a bunch of scientists, and they start to discern what is actually written in these weird hieroglyphs around there. And this is the first time that it's ever written. There then followed an exhaustive comparison of details. A moment of really odd silence where both detective and scientist agreed on the virtual identity of the phrase common to 2 hellish rituals so many worlds of distance apart. What in substance both The Eskimo wizards and the Louisiana swamp priests had chanted to their kindred idols was something very like this, the word divisions being guessed at from traditional breaks in the phrase and chanted aloud. Finglui Migloa Nafa Cthulhu, Riye Waga Nagal Fatagan. This text, as given, ran something like this. In the house of Rala, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming. Now, if you notice, on the mug medallion itself, around the edges, is that chant, both in that ancient hieroglyphic that H.P. Lovecraft created and the translation, which I thought was really cool how we worked that into this design as well. I know you guys are commenting on my shirt. I'll get to what this is at the end here. I got a couple more excerpts I wanted to read to you, because not only did Lovecraft create Cthulhu, he created other things in this whole realm of what he created was beings called the Elder Ones, the Great Ones, and this whole mythos like permeates tons of his stories. This was the first one that really started to talk about that. Now, I believe, if I didn't jump too far ahead, now the inspector found one of the cultists and found that there's this cult of Cthulhu, and found one of these cultists called Old Castro and asked him about the legend that this weird monster is all about. Old Castro remembered bits of hideous legend that paled the speculations and made man and the world seem recent and transient indeed. There had been eons when other things ruled on the earth, and they had great cities. Remains of them, he said the deathless had told him, were still to be found as cyclopean stones on islands in the Pacific. They all died vast epochs of time before men came. But there were arts which could revive them when the stars had come around again to the right positions in the cycle of eternity. These great old ones, Castro continued, were not compromised altogether of flesh and blood. They had shape, but that shape was not made of matter. When the stars were right, they could plunge from world to world through the sky. But when the stars were wrong, they could not live. But although they no longer lived, they would never really die. They all lay in stone houses in their great city of Relay, or Riye, preserved by the spells of mighty Cthulhu for a glorious resurrection when the stars and the earth might once more be ready for them. And that, as the story progresses, is what the cult is all about. The cult of Cthulhu is trying to resurrect Cthulhu in these old ones, which is crazy. Now, not only did Lovecraft create Cthulhu and all of this mythos, he created so many more things in his stories, including the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon, which I noticed that some of you guys have talked about in those comments. And this is the first time the Necronomicon is ever mentioned in any of his stories. Speaking again of Castro. Of the cult, he said that he thought the center lay amid the pathless deserts of Arabia, where dreams are hidden and untouched. It was not allied to the European witch cult and was virtually unknown beyond its members. No book had ever really hinted of it, though the deathless said there were double meanings in the Necronomicon of the mad Abdul al-Zared, which the initiated might read as they choose, especially the much discussed couplet, "That is not dead which can eternal lie, and with strange eons, even death may die." It's pretty crazy. Now, final thing, get you guys really excited. So the story ends on the 3rd chapter, which is the narrator picking it up again, and he travels to Australia and New Zealand because he's heard of a ship that went astray in a voyage and encountered something horrific that seems to be like the monster he's looking for. He tracks down one of the sole survivors of this voyage who had written down what he had seen. The ship, flying off course, had run aground of a strange island, and the crew members got off their ship and started to explore the island and came across a giant cavern that had a wooden door that was embossed with the same character that was also described by the inspector from that sculpture. So these crazy sailors decided to open the door, which is nuts, and this is what they found. The aperture was black, with a darkness almost material. That tenebrousness was indeed a positive quality, for it obscured such parts of the inner walls as ought to have been revealed, and actually burst forth like smoke from its eon-long imprisonment, visibly darkening the sun as it slunk away into the shrunken and gibbous sky on flapping, membranous wings. The odor arising from the newly opened depths was intolerable, and at length the quick-eared Hawkins thought he heard a nasty slopping sound down there. Everyone listened, and everyone was listening still when it lumbered slobberingly into sight and gropingly squeezed its gelatinous green immensity through the black doorway into the tainted outside air of that poisoned city of madness. Poor Johansson's handwriting almost gave out when he wrote of this. Of the 6 men who never reached the ship, he thinks 2 perished of pure fright in that accursed incident. The thing cannot be described. There is no language for such abysms of shrieking and immemorial lunacy, such eldritch contradictions. A mountain walked or stumbled. The thing of the idols, the green, sticky spawn of the stars, had awakened to claim its own. After vintillions of years, great Cthulhu was loose again, ravening for delight. And he is. He's loose again, coming to you very soon on this mug. We're so excited to bring you this mug. This was an idea that we heard from the community for the last few years, and it's something we've been kicking around doing, and I'm so excited because Lovecraft's one of my favorite macabre horror authors, and Cthulhu is just, it's an iconic character. And you'll be able to own this mug very, very soon. So the mug's coming out really, really soon. Pumpkin coffee, cauldron aged pumpkin coffee. It's coming out really, really soon. We also got brand new hats. This is a brand new era snapback hat that's going to be coming out. 3 different styles of these hats. These are going to be coming out really soon. What else is coming out? Oh yeah. So when we did the golden ticket, crazy golden ticket for this, the one ever golden ticket, which was, we've never tried that before, but you guys really jumped on that, so thank you very much. When we did that, we released a green t-shirt that had the Cthulhu on the back. And we'd never done a green t-shirt before, and I personally always love it when we do mug medallions on t-shirts. And you guys, we made only a couple hundred of them, and you guys made them sell out in less than a day. It was crazy. So we know you guys really like that shirt. So we made another one. This is coming out as well. So not only are you going to be able to get your favorite seasonal blend of coffee, not only are you going to get your next favorite mug, because for real, this is going to be your next favorite mug, I know it, but you're going to be able to rep it in style with this. Now, when we did the shirt the first time, this was on the back, and Death Wish was on the front. And we got a little Death Wish on the back of this one, and the giant Cthulhu. And you can see there's the chant going around, which is super rad. And obviously did this one in black because who doesn't like a black shirt? And I hope that you guys really dig it, because I do. I'm very excited. Support your local bookstore. Go down to your local bookstore, pick up some Lovecraft if you've never read it. It's really great. He's got some really, I've got this whole collection of his, some really great stories of his. And if you are an HBO Max fan, definitely tune in to Lovecraft Country. It's an homage to, you know, the horror that Lovecraft talks about, but it's a pretty cool show. And there's 2 episodes out right now. But again, that's based on a book. And I just got that book myself, Lovecraft Country, but I don't want to read it because I don't want to spoil the show for myself. But yeah, thanks as always for tuning in on Wednesday. I try to give you guys all the happenings here at Death Wish Coffee. We got some fun stuff coming up in September. September's right around the corner. So be looking for that next release blog that's going to tell you about all that stuff. Subscribe to The Scoop, because that's the best way to know about new stuff that's coming out. That's our newsletter that comes out every single Monday. And like I said, really soon. You guys know what I mean by really soon. You know what I mean. This mug is right around the corner. It's going to be released to coffee subscribers first. Literally, your best chance of getting it is to become a coffee subscriber right now. Go on over to deathwishcoffee.com. Start your subscription today. Death Wish, whole bean ground K-Cups, Valhalla Java, whole bean ground K-Cups, or how about our black or slightly sweet cold brew? Set it up however you want, delivered to your door, however, whatever schedule you want, we'll make it happen. And it'll be delivered. All you gotta do is just set it up, and you just never will run out of coffee again. And you get cool perks, like early access to mug releases. So that's coming out. Cauldron Age Pumpkin's coming out. Brand new Cthulhu t-shirts coming out. New hats. All sorts of good stuff. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. As always, thanks for tuning in. As always, make sure you subscribe to our podcast. I can't not talk about that. That's coming out tomorrow. All you metal fans out there. The guest tomorrow is none other than Chad Gray of Mudvayne and Hell Yeah. So if you want to hear that, that's wherever podcasts are found. And keep following Death Wish Coffee for some really fun stuff that we're doing throughout the end of the year. And as always, guys, stay caffeinated and keep your mugs up. Bye, everybody.